Okay, what are we doing? Is it time for a Flippy update?
Flippy update.
Do you want fries with that?
It is time for a Flippy update. Flippy is the colloquial name for the disembodied robot arms that are taking our jobs, enslaving our children, and flirting with our spouses. We take the topic of Flippy, we report on it to discuss how the robots are taking over everything and how there's nothing we can do about it until Jesus comes back. Yeah, I wonder what's going to happen to all those robots. Is it going to be just, merged into kingdom robots? Or do we not need them anymore? I tend to think we don't need robots in eternity, but who knows? What do I know? And the dovishness of this episode continues because we've reported on this in I think it was summer of 2021 during the Olympics. CUE, the basketball playing robot, was presented to the world, and it was, hitting 3-point shots, 27 feet from the basket, swishing it, perfect aim. And for those of you watching, we have the Dove art from episode 370. That was back on August 2nd of 2021 of, you got Black Rock Shapiro in the background. I love it. Canary Swole, he's on fire. And yes, this Q robot is dunking upon the U.S. players. And this is a Q update. That's right. CNN. After perfecting 3-pointers, this basketball robot is learning to dribble. Ooh. Now that it can hit shots, let's teach it to dribble. At nearly 7 feet tall and weighing 240 pounds, CUE has biometrics, a lot like the average basketball players. Biometrics, huh? But CUE isn't a sports star in the conventional sense. It's a hoop shooting AI-powered robot. And it gets into how he was presented at the Olympic Games. CUE, which uses a sensor in its chest to calculate the angle and power required for each shot, originated as an amateur robotics project in 2017, and it achieved the quote-unquote impossible by appearing in a halftime show at the Olympics. Nomi says. Nomi is the leader of the development team behind CUE. That's Tomohiro Nomi and other. So I guess he's part of the Toyota robotics team there. However, after landing more than 2,000 consecutive shots in a world record attempt, shooting hoops has become too easy for the sporty android. Oh, shooting 3-pointers, too easy to spice things up. The team is teaching the robot to dribble and hope future iterations will have, quote, the same range of motion and flexibility as humans, says Nomi. Oh, man. As a kid growing up, watching basketball, I was always intrigued by, I watched kind of the tail end of Michael Jordan. But really when I was starting to understand what was happening, it was like the early 2000s, there was Kobe Bryant and there was a guy named AI, ironically, right? His name was Allen Iverson, but he went by AI. And, he has this famous moment where he crosses over Michael Jordan and it was really this herky-jerky kind of street ball type thing. It's the way they moved, their footwork and everything else that made this new brand of basketball so flashy and so cool. And so for this Japanese team that's making these robots to be like, 3-pointers, we've mastered that. What do we do next? Oh, we turn him into a ball handler. We turn him into one of the guys that can really make things happen off the dribble, off the move. Okay, back to the article here. It goes into some other details. We don't have to go through everything here. But the team had to reduce the time needed to set up the next show. Oh, it's talking about the world record. He made 2,020 consecutive shots, which was the world record, a number that was chosen to celebrate the Tokyo 2020 Olympics over 6 hours and 35 minutes. And so that was the record they broke. That still doesn't beat the human record of 5,221 free throws set in 1996. But CUE's development team note that they deliberately cut the attempt short due to time restraints, as record officiators cannot take breaks, swap, or leave. And what I have to say to that, look out, officials, world record officials, Guinness World Record officials. If you can't take breaks or swap in or do something, how are you gonna be there to officiate real life world records? See where this is headed. Even the guys officiating these world records will become robots because robots don't need breaks. They don't need to swap anything out or leave or do anything. So it's a little indictment there. It's almost like mocking human officiators. You know, it's like, humans needs break, swaps, leaves. So there you go. And part of the issue with the 2020 consecutive shots, it took too long between shots. That's why they stopped it at 2020 in 6 hours. You know, they would have been there for another 6 hours if, it's still, 12, 13 hour shift. Come on, officiator. You couldn't do it. You couldn't keep track for 13 hours and they couldn't have a handoff or something. Anyway, I think it could have been done, but yes, that was part of the reason it took too long between shots. Got to pick up the ball, got to aim, got to do all that. As the robot evolved, so did its height and weight. It is now 9 inches taller than its shortest iteration and nearly twice as heavy as its lightest. An added weight is a disadvantage, says Nomi, and the team would like to make it lighter. However, he adds that they have, quote, prioritized functional evolution in the limited time available over a nimbler body. Okay, so just take care of the functional evolution, and then we'll get to the nimbler, body thing. And so it talks about Q5, which was unveiled at the 2020 Olympics. Quote, we would like to try shooting from even further distances in the future. For example, from the 3-point line on the opposite court. That's like, what is that? 65 feet or something? Or from the free throw line, says Nomi. The team is still honing Q's dribbling ability, but this new skill presents a world of possibilities. Their next goal is to get Q6. Ooh, number 6, Q6. A spot at the 2023 B-League All-Star Games Skills Challenge, which tests players' speed and precision in dribbling, shooting, passing, and obstacle navigation. The team aims for the droid to complete the test in 1 minute, which is on par with the average time of top athletes. You really got to look out. This guy's really coming. And, basketball being the skill sport that it is, better watch out. However, this new mission brings, quote, a mountain of challenges, according to Takayoshi Tsujimoto, the team's development manager, who said in a statement that, quote, whereas a shot essentially flies in a parabolic arc, a pass must take a more direct course. The team now needs to double the speed that the current version of Q runs at, especially whether one or two-handed throws work better, or establish whether one or two-handed throws work better, as well as add zigzag running motions and obstacle sensors. Tsujimoto adds, and the team don't have long. Q6 is expected to debut at the Alvark Tokyo home game on December 24th, 2022, says Nomi. All right, Christmas Eve this year, Q6 is going to be making its appearance, its debut at the Alvark Tokyo home game. While robots cannot yet mimic human movement, Nomi anticipates technological advancements that will get them closer to that goal. The team hasn't looked at specific industrial applications for the technology yet. What? But Nomi thinks that the type of control system Q uses could be useful across the robotics field. I thought that was very telling. The team hasn't looked at specific industrial applications for the technology yet. What do you mean you haven't looked at some industrial application yet? Have they not heard of flipping hamburgers? Come on, get with it. But I like how they admit it. They're like, well, we're not really thinking about application. We're just trying to get this thing to do some between the legs, behind the back dribbles, some crossovers, double crossovers. But I'm glad they think that it could be useful across all robotics. It doesn't fool anybody over there, Nomi. We know what you're up to. So there you go. There's Q, the AI-powered basketball robot. an update. We're looking for Q6 debuting on Christmas Eve. How about that? All right. So there you go. There's your Flippy update.